Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the More Freedom series. Today we have traveled to the Nashville Superspeedway for the Nashville 75. This is going to be race number 10 in the More Freedom series, season 6. And let's just go through those points. We got a new points leader. Your points leader is the 300 of Risembool. Second's going to be the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Third will be the 29 of Wishbone Attack. Fourth will be the 51 of AJM. Fifth will be the 95 of Zed Brunna. Sixth will be the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days. Seventh will be the 61 of Chevy. Eighth will be the 67 of the Mini Checks. Also tied for eighth will be the 28 of E-Doggy. And rounding out the top 10 will be the 799 of Mike Check. So let's look at your top 10 in your current points. Let's check in on those team and chassis standings. Aces to Zed Motorsports still leads the way. Second's going to be G3 Motorsports. Third will be MBR. Fourth will be Amish Buggy Racing. And rounding out the top 5 will be the Premium Racing Group, TPRG. Chassis standings are Dodge, Toyota, and Chevy. So let's look at all things points here today for the Nashville 125 here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Crowd's already here. They're getting the cars dialed in. I think it's about time, so let's go racing. As I get the cars fired up and out on the track, let's go through your starting lineup today for the Nashville 75. Starting on the pole will be the 25 of JTM, and on his outside, the 999 of Deviant. Starting third will be the 12 of Xander, and on his outside, the 67 of the Mini Checks. Starting fifth will be the 88 of NM, and on his outside, the 42 of Mel Say What. Starting seventh will be the 00 of Mudbone, and on his outside, the 29 of Wishbone Attack. Starting ninth will be the 544 of Frederick Winklebaum, and rounding out your top 10 will be the 44 of Lil Vato. So that's a look at your starting top 10 today for the Nashville 75. I may have said Nashville 125. I don't remember, but it's the Nashville 75 because we've got, hopefully, 75 laps of green flag action here today. Being led down to that green flag with his first pole of the year is going to be the 25 of JTM. Struggling so far, 27th in points. We'll see if he's got anything for the Deviant, Xander, and the Mini Checks here. He's got his teammate, the 88 of NM, right there a couple rows behind him, waiting on the starter's decision. And the green flag is out, and we are underway. We already see people jumping to the outside right there. So JTM already stuck 3 wide right now as the 12 of Xander working down to the bottom. 4 wide on the backstretch with the 88 of NM working down to the inside of the 12 of Xander. NM is trying to lead lap number 1 here. JTM falling back right now as the 999 of Deviant is falling back as well. Here comes the 544 of Frederick Winklebaum. They come across the start-finish line. Your leader on lap number 1 is going to be the 88 of NM. Already jumping down to the inside is going to be the 544 of Frederick Winklebaum. Let's bring up that timing and scoring. As always, top 10 will be on your left. Favorite driver scrolling across the top. So leader on lap number 1 and out to a couple car length lead right now is the 88 of NM. Second's going to be that 544 Frederick Winklebaum. He's looking for win number 2 this season. Coming up out of nowhere, the 77 of Zip working in from the 12th starting position. 1-2 laps. Already up to third after starting 12th. As we see the 660 and the 96 right now working underneath that 12 of Xander. Here comes the 50 of Candy May. We see the 25 of JTM has now jumped back down to the bottom of the track. He's going to try to work back up to the front of this field as the 61 of Chevy is playing spoiler to that right now. He works underneath him after a great run. It is kind of, they call it the Super Speedway, so we're going to see what kind of Super Speedway stuff they got going on. Still at the front of the field is the 88 of NM. Closing in is that 544. Watching a battle for the 4th position right now between the 660, the 96, and the 50. Back up at the front, NM leads by about 2 car lengths right now over the 544, Frederick Winklebaum. Lil Vato with a rough day. He is on the way to the back of the pack. Well, the 999 of Deviant, who started outside front row, falling all the way to the back of the pack right now with his teammate, the 799 of Mike Check. His other teammate, the 300 of Risembool, actually started last here today. Deviant struggling early going as the 88 of NM still leads the way here. The 660, the 96, the 50 all lined up. Now the 12 lined up with the 61. We're jumping back through this field. The 300 of Risembool, your points leader, starting dead last on the field, has worked his way up too. As he passes the 00 of Mudbone, he is now into the 10th position. So they must have thrown all the good parts this week at the 300 of Risembool as he leads. He's not leading, but he's up to the 10th position now. We're going to jump back through this field and see what happened to that 25 at JTM. He is still just caught on the outside right there. Lil Vato is now moving up here. It's just a wild and crazy race as the 25 at JTM, again, caught on the outside. Wasn't able to lead a lap, and I think it's going to be indicative of his season so far and just the struggles that he's had here this year in the More Freedom Series. Again, he is your career leader in wins, but this year has just not gone his way. The same for his teammate, the 49 of Jetman. Jetman currently running in, I don't know, he's running in a place on the track. He's not last, and I'm sure he's happy about that. We'll jump to the back of this pack as we see the 33 of Harvey Jones has now fallen to the back of the pack. He is running right there behind the mini checks. So mini checks, I'm not sure if the Drop Bear Racing, a little bit of bump by that 33 of Harvey Jones on the 67 of the mini checks. It looks like the Drop Bear Racing team may not have hit all of their setups this week, as we do see the 95 still caught on the outside right there. He's 3 wide right now with the 666 of Pistol Pete and the 777 of Seabass. Back to front, front to back, the 999 of Deviant might try to get some help here by the 51 of AJM as they work down the backstretch. JTM finally down to the inside. He works around the 11 of TC Roberts. So it is a grueling race apparently here today, as there is the 49 of Jetman. He runs right there behind the 42 of Mel Say What. That's going to be for the 15th position. So we'll jump back up to the front of the field and see what is going on as the 77 of Zip is working right there behind the 544 Frederick Winklebaum. Not a great run off of turn 4 for the 77 of Zip. He's going to lose 3 or 4 car lengths right there. Looks like he had to get up on the brakes, getting into, I believe, off of 4 or into 3. He had a good run there, but had to get on the brakes and is going to lose a few car lengths. Nothing detrimental yet. No accident happening there, but the 88 of NM has led all 11 laps so far here today. So NM looking good in the Smirnoff Ocean Spray Dodge for MBR. Good looking livery on that car this season. But he's got the 544 Frederick Winklebaum. Winkle is in hot pursuit right now in his Domino's Dodge for RP Racing. You know, it looks like a police car. They got Dunkin' Donuts on the hood. It's magic is what it is. It's just magic. So Zip is still right there to the back bumper of the 544. Looks like the 96 of Nico able to work around that 660 of Garrett Miller. Garrett falling back now 2 positions. In danger of losing that spot to the 12 of Xander now. So Nick up to the 4th position. Kenny May to the 5th. She looks like she might lose that to the 61 of Chevy. He works down to the inside here as they work down the front stretch. Not yet, but they work down into turn 1 here. As we see a battle for the 2nd position now by the 77 of Zip and the 544 Frederick Winklebaum. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile down to the inside of the blanking right there. The Dunkin' Donuts Domino's Dodge, the Triple D. That's like dinner drive-ins and dives. The Triple D, the Dunkin' Donuts Domino's Dodge. Goodness. But they are all chasing down that 88 of NM right now, who is out to the lead of this race. Starting today's race in the 5th position, has worked, lap 1 worked himself into the front. The pole sitter, the 25 of JTM, falling back to the 25th right now. Again, tough row to hoe on the outside of the track, as the mini checks, who started up in the top 10, they started 4th, now working in the back of the pack with the 666. The Pistol Pete, we're going to see if they can do anything to change their luck in the pits, as Harvey has worked in front of the 799 of Mike Check. Mike is letting him know he's there. Hello, he says. He says, "G'day, mate." I'll jump up through this field. There is the 25 of JTM working there in front of the 11 of TC Roberts. There's his teammate, the 51 of AJM, working to the inside of the 28 of E Doggy, who is right in front of him. He's going to be the 47 of Dash. Last week's winner, the 3 of Geek Girl Games, currently running in the 17th position. We'll see if we can find Risembool. Risembool now around that 50 of Candy May. So Risembool has worked himself up to the 8th position now, as the 23 of Poison Mule now into the top 10. So Paul started today's race. Where did he? 25th for Paul. 660 of Garrett Miller started today's race in the 17th position. Let's see where Nico started 19th here today. And he is now up to the 3rd position. They were all able to work around. Who was in that 3rd position? As we got lots of people working into the top 10 here. Oh, I'm sorry. 33 of Harvey Jones into the pits. So Harvey always, I don't know. Harvey is, we got both RP Racing Dodges into the pits right now. NM going for another lap here, hammered down on the 88 Smirnoff Ocean Spray Dodge for MBR. The 96 of Nico now into the 2nd position. So NM going 1 lap further than his competition right now, working lap number 21 here at the Nashville Superspeedway. He's going to duck into the pits. We're going to see if Nick stays out for another lap. Nick rolls into the pits right there behind him. Looks like the rest of the field coming in. So we're going to see if NM, how he does into the pits here. Trying to get a good view of that. He might have to get on the binders here for the 666. Oh, almost a catastrophe right there between himself and the 29, a Wishbone Attack. So that's going to cost him in the pits. We're going to see how much it costs the 88 of NM. He's got left side tires going on, full load of fuel going in. Looks like we have some issues with the 544 of Frederick Winklebaum. Winkle is in the pits. He's been sitting here forever. So Winkle may have an issue and is going to lose that, what would have been the 2nd position. That few seconds that he had to slow down for the 29 of Wishbone Attack is going to cost the 88 of NM. That's going to put the 61 of Chevy out to the lead of this race for the Premium Racing Group. So TPRG with another fantastic pit stop here today for the 61 of Chevy in the Lucky Strike. Man, I am just blanking these sponsors here today. The Pabst Blue Ribbon Lucky Strike Dodge, the 61 of Chevy for TPRG. And it looks like Frederick is now being shown out of this race. He's going to have lost an engine here today. So Frederick being scored out of the race now with a blown engine. So we know what happened to that 544, Frederick Winklebaum. As we see the 300 of Risembool for the Drop Bear Racing Team in the Dr. Pepper Toyota. He is now up to the 4th position, so he has gained 32 spots here today. Now up to the 4th position there behind the 88 of NM. Let's go through your current top 10 after those pit stops. So your leader on the track for TPRG is the 61 of Chevy. Second's going to be his teammate, 77 of Zip. Third will be the 88 of NM. Fourth will be the 300 of Risembool. Fifth will be the 660 of Garrett Miller. Seventh will be the 96 of Nico. Eighth will be the 23 of Fullerton. Ninth will be the 122 of Adam Victor. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 50 of Candy May right now. I'm sorry, she's ninth. Scratch all that. In 10th position is now the 471 of Kung Fu Beer. I thought I missed a spot there, but yes. Excuse me, the 471 of Kung Fu Beer now up to the 10th position. KFB started today's race in the, where did he start at today? He started back in 22nd. So, hey, we got Risembool and KFB working up here for the Drop Air Racing Team. Unfortunately, the 999 and the 67 running 34th and 35th here today. So the mini checks, not sure what is going on with their car. They're kind of off the pace a little bit. Maybe they had a terrible pit stop here today, but they have fallen way to the back of the pack here. There is their teammate, the 999 of Deviant. So missing the setup on the 67 and the 999 here today. Bad pit stop for the 00 of Mudbone, who was in the top 10 before those stops, is now fallen way back to the 31st position here. So I know Mudbone, he is the owner of TPRG, and he is definitely going to have something to say to his pit crew after this race. As we'll keep working up through this field. Jump back up here, see what we got going on. The 88 of NM is now caught. The 77 of Zip as he works down to the inside here through turn number 3. So Zip falls victim to the 88 of NM as NM's going to set his sights on the 61 of Chevy, who is leading the way here. As we close, we're getting closer to halfway. We got about 46 laps to go here at Nashville, the Nashville Superspeedway, 46 to 75. We have 34. We're working lap number 34, so we're basically 15. Sorry, we're on lap 38. We're on lap 38. So I would guess if everything holds true, NM's going to stop about lap 42, and we'll see where the 61 of Chevy ends up here. As I'm looking through this. No, that's not right. That's 21. That's 30. I can't do math. I can't read either, apparently, because that was lap 30, not 38. So in about 10 laps, we're going to probably start seeing pit stops again. So we're going to see if NM can run down the 61 of Chevy in those 10 laps, as 660 of Garrett Miller is fighting now with the 96 of Nico. Battle on the track for the 5th position right now between the 96 and the 660. Garrett is currently running 14th in the points. Nick, last season's points champion, currently running 17th. You know, he's a late bloomer when it comes to the More Freedom Series. Is that 96 of Nico. He actually didn't lead until like the second to the last race last year, as NM is slowly catching this 61 of Chevy here. So there have only been 2 leaders here today, the 61 and the 88, combined for 32 laps so far, 33 laps now, I do believe. So these two drivers have held it down at the front of the race the whole time. We're going to see if NM able to catch up and pass the 61 of Chevy, as the 660 of Garrett Miller has now caught up to the 300 of Risembool. A little bit of help by that 96 of Nico. That drafting, I mean, we're not running extremely fast laps here. Fastest lap of the day is by the 77 to Zip at 163 miles an hour, so we're not blazing around this track. But a little bit of draft here and there could help, as the 660 is going to try to make that pass on the 300 of Risembool, but the 96 of Nico, you can see, was just letting off the gas just a little bit, as we now have a change for the lead, folks. Change for the lead. The 88 of NM has now caught and passed the 61 of Chevy, so we're going to see if NM can now, when it comes time to the pit stops, we're going to see what he can do in the pits, the MBR pit crew can do, if they can get him in and out in a good period of time and not have to play catch-up again. So we're looking at like at least one more stop here today for everybody after this. So we're looking at a 3-stop race, it looks like. So we're going to get around lap 40, around lap 60, and that should get everybody to the end of the race. So, you know, a lap here, a lap there is not going to make a difference when it comes to the final pit stop around lap 60. You should have enough fuel to get to lap 75 there at the end. As we do see, the 96 does get around the 660 of Garrett Miller. He sets his sights on the 300 of Risembool. Risembool's going to kind of let him go here. Risembool needs to immediately get to the bottom of the track. He's not going to be able to do so. The 122 of Adam Victor's going to work around the inside. Here comes that 50 of Canny May. We're going to see if the 660 of Garrett Miller has a chance to catch up here as well. So Risembool's going to lose at least 4 spots here, maybe 5, to the 23 of Fuller Than You. If Paul can work down the backstretch and into the turn. So Risembool stays to the middle line. Here comes that 23 of Fuller Than You, right to the back bumper of the 300 of Risembool. So Paul not able to make that pass on the 300, but back out to the lead is the 88 of NM. We're checking in on how other people are running right now. Holsetter back to the 27th position right now. Deviant and the Mini Check still holding it down in the back of the pack right here. Again, closing in on pit stops here at Nashville. We'll have to check in on who led at halfway. It might have been NM. It might have been the 61 of Chevy. We crossed halfway, I don't know, like 4 laps ago, something like that. 3 laps ago, I think. Maybe we'll call it 4. I don't know. We'll check. We'll get the replay. We'll check it out. We'll make sure we get the right points to whoever gets those points. But NM has led all 27 of the laps here today, as we do have pit stops underway. We do see the 28 and 61 into the pits. NM got another lap under his belt here. That's actually going to be good for the 61 and the 28. They're going to get into the pits and out of the pits without probably any issues happening, as the 88 of NM still working here. The 96 now into the 2nd position. We're probably going to see all of them jump into the pits. NM into the pits. Again, 21 laps of fuel right there for the 88 of NM and the 96 of Nico. We're going to see NM work down the front stretch here. 799 of Mike Check is pulling out of the pits. NM's going to have to slow down for him. So again, traffic on pit road is going to play a big role in where NM comes out of the pits here. As we see the 47 and the 799 battling right there down pit road. There's the 00 of Mudbone. Again, he is going to have some words for his pit crew here today. As NM into the pits, right side tires going on, fuel going in. Got to get all that fuel that they can into that car. Left side tires going on for the 88 of NM. You see the 42 right there behind him. NM down on the way. So NM still, actually, we are going to see the 61 of Chevy is going to have a huge lead here. I think the one thing that NM's going to have going for him is that he's going to be able to take at least 1 or 2 laps less fuel than the 61 of Chevy. So at the end of this race, depending on their tires, he may be able to get in and out faster, which could be very beneficial, you know, like, so if he goes another lap, so that's going to be 3 laps less fuel than the 61 of Chevy here. Or 1, I don't know. There's going to be less fuel put into his car than the 61 of Chevy. So let's go through your current top 10. Your leader by a huge margin right now is the 61 of Chevy. Second's going to be the 88 of NM. Third will now be the 122 of Adam Victor for DM Motorworks, trying to get win number 2 of his career and the season here. In the 4th position will be the 23 of Fuller Than You. 5th will be the 50 of Candy May. 6th will be the 300 of Risembool. 7th will now be the 13 of King of the Aces. So Coda has now come up from the 28th position. I think we're going to get into the 8th position to be 660. 9th will be the 8 of Moon Bunny, and rounding out top 10 will be the 77 of Zip, I do believe. So Nick loses several positions here, back to the 11th spot, but the 8 of Moon Bunny, who started today's race 31st, now into the top 10 as well. She is battling this season. I believe she has a win this year. I know she came in second to the 356 of Ice Cream some days, and she has definitely been battling this season. Currently running. It's like a mystery as to why where is Moon Bunny at in the standings right now? She is 26th in the standings, which is, I don't know, I think that's crazy. She doesn't have a win, but she's got 1 top 5, 3 top 10s. Oh, that's the reason. She's had 3 DNFs this year. So she has, I don't think any of those were her fault this season, but she has been caught up there a few times as King of the Aces is trying to catch up to that 50 of Candy May, but 61 of Chevy still out to the lead right now. He has got a huge 2.7 second lead over the 88 of NM. Unfortunately, the 25 of JTM has now fallen back to the 34th position, so not sure what happened with the 25 here today. They have just missed the mark when it came to their pit stops and their setup, and unfortunately wasn't even able to lead a lap, but he's going to get 5 bonus points, which is for starting on the pole, which, I mean, little comfort right now for that 25 team as they are struggling this season, currently running 27th in the points after, I believe, finishing 3rd last season and 2nd and 3rd the season before that. So we're going to see if they can do anything here today, possibly on that final pit stop, to work out of the hole that they're in right now, as the 88 of NM, his teammates, still 2.4 seconds back right now. As we close in, 25 laps to go here at Nashville. About 5 laps and the pit window to the end of the race will open. It'd be an interesting thing to see if we had anybody that'll short pit, so they're low on fuel when it comes to the end of the race, so they put in more fuel now, low on fuel when it comes to the end of the race, because the less fuel, less your car weighs, the faster your car goes, is kind of the idea. But then also, I mean, it's 5 laps, so you stay out for those 5 laps, and well, they're staying out till lap 60, so we're currently running lap 52. So about 8 laps to go, and we will have pit stops underway again. And in those 8 laps, there is a possibility that, well, that the 61 of Chevy will take over the lead as having led the most laps here today. So great pit stops here today by TPRG for the 61 of Chevy. They're trying to win race number 2 for TPRG. Chevy currently runs 7th in the points, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. No DNFs so far, so that's an awesome job for the 61 of Chevy here in his rookie season for TPRG. We'll jump back through the field, see what is happening. Solidly into second or third and fourth are the 122 of Adam Victor, the 23 of Fuller Than You. As now the 13, the King of the Aces, is now up to the 5th position, right? Correct. So Coda up to the 5th position. He has 1 win under his belt this season. Involved in a couple on-track incidences. None of those which were his doing. So he's got 1 DNF this season, but I mean, he's only led 3 laps on the year, and one of those laps was the winning lap at the end of the race that his teammate, the 95 of Zed Brutta, pushed him to. So Moon Bunny back to the 6th position. He is working to try to move around him here. 96 of Nico now into the top 10 again. Jump back through. The 300 of Risembool has fallen back to the 12th position. Mike Check is slowly moving up here. So the 799 of Mike Check, who was mired in the back of the pack, has now worked himself up to the 19th position. He has passed the 471 of Kung Fu Beer on that previous lap to get into the 19th position. So Mike Check slowly but surely working himself up here. We're going to see if the final pit stop for that 799 helps him with anything, as NM is knocking on the door here. So we can see that the 88 of NM has an amazing car here today at Nashville. The only problem is that the 61 of Chevy has an amazing pit crew here at Nashville. Working lap number 57, about 3 laps to go, and I think you're going to see that 61 of Chevy into the pits. That will be his pit window right there with 15 laps to go. They're running roughly the same line, but the 88 of NM, who is now down to the inside right here for the lead of the race, down to the inside of the 61 of Chevy. Chevy is not going to be able to hold on to the lead, as the 88 of NM definitely has a car that is hooked up here today. He's going to take over the lead of this race. They are now tied for the number of laps led with 29. So Chevy's staying out another lap here. This is the pit window is going to open as they cross the line here. 20 laps down from their last pit stop. May or may not see them both jump into the pits here, but both of them can go the distance. It's going to be a matter of how much fuel they need to put in to get to the end of this race. So every drop that they don't put in counts. So NM leading the way. We're going to see if Chevy ducks off into the pits. And Chevy is into the pits, so the 88 of NM staying out for another lap here. So again, it took him almost 20 laps to make up the distance between himself and the 61 of Chevy. The good thing here, again, is that he's got to put in 1 lap less of fuel than the 61 of Chevy. And we're going to see if he goes more than 1 lap. So, like I said, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3 less laps of fuel here. So theoretically, he can make it to lap 61 or 63 or 64 right now. As we see Adam Victor still out on the track. So that could be a half a second less fuel into this 88 as they are working lap number 62 here. So we're going to see if NM jumps into the pits here, or if he stays out for one more lap. He's still got the hammer down, so that 88 of NM is staying out one more lap, folks. That is going to give him 4 laps less fuel than the 61 of Chevy. So NM, whose car, I mean, he is hooked up here today. Last lap was 156 miles an hour. So he has to get into these pits here. He has to get out of the pits. It may be the fact that he is saying, hey, let's get everybody out of the pits. Let's get a good run into our pit stall. Let's put in our less fuel and see if we can win this race. So you can see the rest of the field coming in here. 61 of Chevy is going to go past, but he's got to come back and go back around because he's technically a lap down right now as we see the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Oh, goodness, that's going to be it, folks. That's probably going to do it right there as G3 holds up the 88 of NM. So you probably just saw the 88 of NM lose this race on pit road as, again, he has got right side tires only. He's got fuel in, and he's down, he's away. That may have been it, folks. That little stutter by the 88 of NM may have put him out of this race as he is working out of the pits right now. He's got the hammer down, folks. My goodness, look at this, folks. This is very, very close between the 61 of Chevy and the 88 of NM. NM, he did have with G3 jumping down, or jumping out of her pit stall to get back out on the track. The 88 of NM had to slow down. He was able to put in less fuel. It's a drag race now between himself and the 61 of Chevy. With about 10 laps to go, your leader now, that 61 of Chevy, as the 88 of NM is slow to get going here. So with warmer tires, 3 laps warmer on his tires, the 61 of Chevy has now spread his lead out to, it's going to be, I don't know if this is it might be an insurmountable lead for that 88 of NM, and Chevy might get the first win of his career here today for TPRG. They're looking for win number 2 of the season. They're currently running 5th in the points behind Amish Buggy Racing and MBR. So the 61 of Chevy, looking for race win number 1 of his career, has now put a huge lead on the 88 of NM, and NM definitely, I'm going to call it here, whatever they did to his car definitely was not the way to go. He definitely has lost this race, folks. I don't know if they just didn't put in enough fuel and now he's got to save, but whatever has happened, the 88 of NM has, oh, we've got a yellow flag, folks. Goodness. Throw it all away. Just throw it all away right now, as we now have a yellow flag on the track. We're going to see what brought that out, see if we find anyone. Not sure what that yellow flag is for. But with 7 laps to go, that is going to be, they are going to be able to come back out. So let's see if we can figure out what brought out this caution flag. I'm going to be real honest here, folks. We looked and we cannot figure out what brought out that caution. Phantom debris caution. Controversy is going to be happening right now here in the More Freedom series, because I reviewed the tape and there must have been a piece of debris on the track. I'm not sure, but definitely a caution for some reason here today in the More Freedom series. I'm not entirely sure what the caution's for, but we've got a caution flag here on the track. I don't think there was any takers for pit road. So no takers for pit road. Let's go through your current top 10. Your leader is the 61 of Chevy. Second's going to be the 23 of Fuller Than You. Third will be the 23 or the 88 of NM. Fourth will be the 122 of Adam Victor. Fifth will be the 12 of Xander. Sixth will be the 8 of Moon Bunny. Seventh will be the 13 of King of the Aces. Eighth will be the 300 of Risembool. Ninth will be the 28 of E-Doggy. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 96 of Nico. So we're going to see if they give us the one to go here. So checking, and we do have the one to go, folks. So we're going to get the split on the backstretch, probably into turn 3. We're going to see if who's going to lead this race into these final couple laps here. About 4 laps to go when we cross the line. And we're going to see if Chevy can get the power down in his Dodge and win this race for TPRG, or if he's going to fall victim to the 23 of Fuller Than You or the 88 of NM, or maybe even the 122 of Adam Victor, going to win race number 2 of his career. And you always can't count out Paul. You can't count the 23 of Fuller Than You out. Paul is, I mean, known wrecker, the 23 of Fuller Than You, so you can't count him out. You never know what's going to happen. So Chevy's going to have to put that hammer down here as we see that beautiful orange and black Dodge Challenger pace car duck into the pits for the final time, hopefully here at Nashville, waiting on the starter's decision. Green flag is out. We're back underway here at Nashville. Paul with a great jump. Down into turn number 1 goes the 23 of Fuller Than You. He's going to get a fantastic jump on the 61 of Chevy. On the outside, the 122 of Adam Victor is going to run to the outside of the 88 of NM. Again, I think NM, they just screwed up on the pits and just did not give him the best pit stop that he could have had. He's going to fall back to the 4th position. They should have changed left side tires and not right side tires, I think. So the 23 of Fuller Than You going to play spoiler, I think, to that 61 of Chevy, as the 122 of Adam Victor has now caught the back bumper of that 61. So Adam down to the inside. He is going to try to win race number 2 of his career, the second race for DM Motorworks. And I think that was either last week or the week before. So he would have won race number 8. So he is now into the 2nd position with 2 laps to go. So I think it's 2 laps to go. Yeah, I think it'll be 2 laps to go this time around. Nope, we're going to go. This is 2 laps to go right now. So your leader on the track is the 23 of Fuller Than You. Again, that 88 of NM. Struggling. He's going to struggle to stay in the top 10 as they absolutely screwed up his pit stop, screwed up his car here at the end of the race as white flag is out for the 23 of Fuller Than You. NM and Chevy are going to tie for the most laps led here today, but in the catbird seat is the 23 of Fuller Than You for Aces to Z Motorsports. They're going to extend their points lead in the team points. Your winner here today is the 23 of Fuller Than You. Hey, I will have to say, clean race. Clean race by the 23 of Fuller Than You. From what I saw, no wrecking by him of any competitors here today. He's changing his ways, I think. Let's go through your finishing top 10. Your winner is the 23 of Fuller Than You. Second's going to be the 122 of Adam Victor. Third will be the 61 of Chevy. Fourth will be the 50 of Candy May. Fifth will be the 72 of Duchess. Sixth will be the 471 of Kung Fu Beer. Seventh will be the 8 of Moon Bunny. Eighth will be the 77 of Zip. Ninth will be the 999 of Deviant. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 42 of Mel Say What. NM drops from 4th position to 13th on the last lap there. So look at that. The 999 of Deviant coming back from way back in the pack to finish in the 9th position here today. Wow. Amazing race here today at Nashville, except for the 88 of NM, who is going to be very unhappy with his pit crew. Next week we're heading back, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally heading back to Bristol for the Bristol 125. We're going to see some great door-to-door action next week at Bristol. There could be wrecks. There could be excitement. We don't know. We will find out next week. Let's check in on those all-important current points and see who is leading the way. Risembool ends up finishing today's race in the 20. Wow, he fell back down to 26. So you're seeing the current points here on the screen. Let's also check in on your team and chassis standings. Great day for Ace of the Z Motorsports. MBR kind of falls by the wayside at the end of the race right there. So you're seeing your team and chassis standings on the screen. Tough break on the caution right there at the end of the race for the 61 of Chevy. He probably could have won this, but that late race caution really cost him the win here today. Again, we're not sure. There must have been debris on the track. Controversy will fly here at Nashville. Yeah, next week. I'm sorry. Congratulations again to the 23 of Fuller Than You. He is your winner. And until next week at the modern day Coliseum at Bristol, take care.